This lecture will focus on the use of pharmacodynamic modeling and models that are based upon physiological and pharmacological mechanisms in a translational sense. So our objectives here are to review the basic concepts of pharmacodynamic modeling, starting with receptor occupancy and basic indirect response models as an approach to integrate these two concepts. We'll also cover irreversible effects and transduction models, and then how one can take those basic concepts and use them for translational modeling purposes for predicting human drug responses. We'll conclude this lecture with a discussion of systems pharmacology, the emergence of systems pharmacology to also be used in a translational sense, and to also identify new sources that explain the interindividual variability in drug response. In this slide, you'll see the basic components of integrated pharmacokinetic and dynamic systems. As always, we start with a good appreciation for the determinants of the time course of drug exposure, as is the exposure that drives the response. And so we always start with a good appreciation for those factors controlling exposure from whatever route of administration is involved. And then, of course, we have a number of delays that can occur between the exposure and the pharmacologic effect. And we have a number of modeling approaches for those types of delays. One of the first well-documented delay is the time it takes for a drug to get to the site of action. And so biophase distribution is an important component, and actually measuring concentrations at the site of action is most desirable. A big realization, though, in the mid-90s is that many pharmacological delays are due to the fact that drug binding to the target is not just eliciting an effect, but perhaps altering turnover processes of various biomarkers. And so indirect response models have played a major role in developing translational PK/PD systems. And then finally, we recognize that there are a number of drug effects that are even extended even further in time from the drug exposure and immediate response or proximal responses. And it's the distal response due to time-dependent transduction mechanisms that need to be captured. And so we have an array of models that are available to describe these types of effects for traditional PK/PD modeling systems.